2025 was a pretty good year for Apple. We got the incredibly good value M4 MacBook Air, the iPhone 16e, as well as the new AirPods Pro 3, the crazy thin iPhone Air, the redesigned Pro iPhones, a new Vision Pro, and so much more. But if you think 2025 was good, just wait for 2026, which is looking to be one of the biggest years for Apple yet. So without any further ado, here's everything to expect from Apple in 2026 for every single month of the year. Also about this, yeah, I had a very silly accident, basically fell in the hotel lobby and hit my head, so you'll have to see me wear this for a while. Okay, now Apple doesn't usually release products in January or February. The last time, and actually the only time when Apple announced products in January, was back in 2023 with the M2 MacBook Pros, the Mac Minis, and a new generation of HomePod. March has always been the month for budget Apple product releases, as we always had the iPhone 16es come out in March, also the budget iPads, including the 11th gen from earlier this year. So what about 2026? Well, we're expecting the new budget iPhone 17e, which will likely come with the dynamic island, slimmer bezels, a binned A19 chip, and that's about it. You can think about it as an iPhone 15 but with a newer chip. We're also expected to see a new budget iPad, possibly called the 12th generation according to Mark Gurman. This is rumored to come with the A18 chip from the current A16, meaning that the cheapest iPad would finally get Apple Intelligence. And together with the upcoming M4 iPad Air, these are likely to be only chip upgrades. We may also see the M5 MacBook Air, but this again would only be a chip upgrade, and possibly also offer faster SSD speeds similar to what Apple did with the M5 MacBook Pro. And speaking of MacBook Pros, we could also see the M5 Pro and the M5 Max MacBook Pros launching in March, which would then join the base M5 model that arrived in October. These updates are expected to focus mainly on the new chips and the faster SSD speeds, as the major redesign is only planned for later in the year, but more on that in a few minutes. And of course, we cannot forget about the budget A18/A19 MacBook, which is also expected around the same time. We've actually made a dedicated video about it right here. And last but not least, we may also see new studio displays coming, with two different identifiers hinting at a base version and then a higher end version, possibly with 120Hz promotion. So that wraps up March, and it's shaping up to be an incredibly packed month for Apple releases. Just like how we've also had an incredibly packed year for our app wallpapers. This year, we've dropped 104 wallpapers packs. That means 1,040 stunning 8K designs made by our designers. And now that we're in December, we have some brand new packs as well. We have Winter Wonderland by Wallrod, which is a stylized landscape pack that makes great use of color to really freshen up your devices, whether that's on the iPhone, the iPad, or any desktop. And for those of you looking for something simpler, we have Mythic Monoliths by Haneen, which is more timeless, where you can pick your favorite hue of this abstract 3D render design for any of your devices. More designs are dropping this month and of course early next year as well, so make sure to use the links below to find wallpapers, which is by the way free on iOS and Android. But that's not everything that's expected to come in spring. Yeah, quite crazy, because here are even more products that are set to come around April time. First off, we have the new Apple Smart Hub, possibly called the HomePad or the Home Hub. This would be a HomePod mini-sized speaker with a detachable iPad that would act as your home hub. Earlier this year, we had leaked code in one of the iOS betas suggesting such a device that would have a resolution of 1080 by 2178, which would mean an aspect ratio of around 18:9. Although some other leaks mentioned a square aspect ratio and a screen size of around 7 inches. Apple may also release two versions, one that's attached to a speaker and one that could be mounted to a wall. It's set to come with Apple Intelligence, so it will likely have at least an A17 Pro chip or an A18 chip with 8GB of RAM. And is also said to be running a custom OS version that Apple internally refers to as Charismatic, with the rumored price being around $350. Now, this new hub will heavily rely on the new revamped Siri 2.0, which is once again said to only come in iOS 26.4, which will be around April time. Which, even though it's not technically a physical product, it's still a new product, so to say, that we've been waiting for such a long time. So that's why I felt Siri 2.0 deserved a mention, especially after the latest leaks that it would apparently be Gemini 3 Pro, essentially. Just renamed to Siri 2.0. and of course with a bit of Apple customization inside of it. So that's it for the first half of 2026. Quite packed, to be honest. I'll be surprised if Apple manages to release everything on this list, but let's hope for that. Up next, we have WWDC, and this usually takes place in the first or the second week of June. Now, we haven't had any hardware releases in 2025 and 2024, but we did have a huge one in 2023 when Apple introduced the Apple Vision Pro, plus the M2 Ultra Mac Studio and Mac Pro, which, by the way, is still on sale today. This year, we may see the M5 and the M5 Pro Mac Mini, plus the M5 Max and M5 Ultra Mac Studio, according to Mark Gurman. And while the leaks suggest that these could be coming in the middle of the year without any specific dates, June does make a lot of sense since that's when WWDC is, so it would make the perfect time to release them, especially when you consider that the M2 Ultra launched in 2023 during WWDC. Aside from this, I also expect to see all the OS updates as we usually do, the developer previews for iOS 27 alongside iPadOS 27, watchOS 27, macOS 27, and tvOS 27. Oh, and visionOS 27. All of them focused on speed improvements, bug fixes, and apparently some new Apple Intelligence features as well. Then we've got the second major release period of the year, and that is of course September. And this is the month when we expect to see the flagship iPhones released. I'm saying flagship because the iPhone 18 is actually not expected to come in 2026, only 2027. The iPhones that we do expect to see in 2026, September, would be the iPhone 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max, and also the long-awaited iPhone Fold. I've already covered some early leaks on these in separate videos right here, so feel free to check those out. But long story short, there's not many changes expected to the iPhone 18 Pros aside from maybe a variable aperture for the main camera, also new sensor. And aside from this, the iPhone Fold is of course Apple's very first foldable, with a 7.8-inch crease-free inner display and then a 5.5-inch outer screen. We're also rumored to get dual cameras, not triple cameras on this, Touch ID instead of Face ID, a titanium body, and a thickness around 9mm thick when folded, so thicker than the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and a price of $2,000 to $2,500, so this will be very expensive. And we are also very likely to see the Apple Watch Series 12, and of course, that would be joined by the Apple Watch Ultra 4 and possibly a new Apple Watch SE. We don't really have any specific leaks on any of them, although personally I do expect a thinner design for the Apple Watch Ultra rather than Apple skipping another year without giving us any updates. We may also see new AirPods being released in September, possibly the AirPods 5 and the AirPods Pro 4, but not the AirPods Max, as these are only expected to come in 2027, according to Ming-Chi Kuo. According to Mark Gurman, Apple has already begun their work on the next generation AirPods with Apple Intelligence and the H3 chip, and these are likely to ship in the second half of 2026, possibly in September. So these are very likely the AirPods Pro 4s, which may also come with built-in infrared cameras for environmental positioning and Apple's visual intelligence search apparently. And finally, the last release period of the year, although by far one of the most exciting ones, is October, because that's when we expect to see the brand new redesigned M6 OLED MacBook Pro. I've already covered this in this video right here, but in short, it will pack Apple's next-gen M6 chip, a super vibrant OLED screen that's also very bright at 1600 nits, and full touch support with on-cell touch technology. It's also rumored to be much thinner and lighter than the current models. It may also drop the notch in favor of a hole punch camera cutout and possibly even include 5G as an optional extra. This is the MacBook that I've been waiting for decades. And it may just be the perfect MacBook in every single way, maybe even the perfect laptop. The only downside is going to be its price. It won't be cheap. You see, RAM prices have been going up like crazy, which means that we may see its price affected by this too. Additionally, only the M6 Pro and the M6 Max models are set to be getting this redesign, and not the base M6, which will stick with the current design. Aside from this, we may also see the brand new OLED iPad mini making an appearance. According to Instant Digital and Weibo, this would not arrive any sooner than Q3 2026, leaving us with October as a potential release date. The design isn't expected to change much aside from maybe a larger overall form factor, but really the main change here would be that screen, going from LCD to full-on OLED, around 8.5 to 8.7 inches, so that's also getting bigger. It's also likely to come with the A19 Pro chip and possibly even water resistance. But yeah, if you want to learn more about the new OLED iPad mini, there's a separate video on that right here. And of course, we've got the new M6 iPad Pro as well, which will likely come at the same time as these new M6 MacBook Pros, but no other changes are expected aside from that new chip. So all in all, this is shaping up to be an extremely busy year for Apple. Not even to mention Tim Cook possibly leaving as well. And aside from that, there's a ton of new products that I'm excited to see, especially the iPhone Fold and the OLED MacBook Pro, both of which I just cannot wait. I'm also curious to see if all of these rumors hold true and if Apple will end up releasing so many products in 2026 or if some of them actually get pushed into 2027. But either way, let me know down below which products are you excited for the most, and do subscribe for more videos on what to expect from each. Check out our app wallpapers for some awesome designs. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.